Jumping jacks, tax, got my taxes jumping. Now my bag coming with that major money. Dripping blessings, just might buy a house for my mama. Bad credit, don't even sweat it, cause they'll repair it, ain't no question. They can do it, it's amazing.
What's up, y'all? It's Prince Donnell, and you are officially listening to $1 Million Life Lessons. And of course, I'm here, my right-hand man, the man with the cam,
Ron Vann Dam.
And with $1 Million Life Lessons, we drop $1 Million gems each episode, and it's your job to pick them up. Of course, this is the Man Cave edition, where we drop a lot of information for our brothers that are listening to this right now. So if you're a brother listening to this, first and foremost, we just want to say thank you. Thank you for the support. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing this on all platforms. And if you're new, all that I ask in return of you listening to this podcast, we don't ask for anything financially, nothing. All that we ask in return is that you share this with a friend, and that you also put this on your Facebook, your Instagram, your TikTok, whatever platforms you use, so that this can get more exposure, so other brothers and entrepreneurs, and for the ladies out there too, can hear this information and change their lives. So that's all that we ask of you. And with that said, we're going to get into it. We like to talk about real topics, around manhood, relationships, sex, finances, everything around that topic, and get real. And hopefully it'll be able to help you from there. With that said, what's up, Van? What's going on?
Nothing much. So it's Wednesday. We really been driving hard on the content, the Jumper Jack Tax franchise, and it's been doing really, really well. So we actually have been learning as we go. There's a lot to learn, but tax season is swinging around. They did push it back to February 12th.
I believe,
yeah.
Got about two and a half more weeks.
Yeah, and as usual, since you did, hop into a need-based business, this is the time. Everybody needs you right
Absolutely.
now. Everybody needs you. So I would like to kind of get into that, because we haven't really touched on that subject in a while, because after you did go through the transition in 2020 of actually, creating the mobile app. I don't know if you promoted that already, but yeah, you guys make sure you go download the Jumper Jack Tax app. It's a whole new app that Don put a whole bunch of creativity into. So yeah, the mobile app, the franchise, and even the new kid. And now you're actually kind of settling your feet now in the mud, kind of getting back to business of doing tax. Well, not doing taxes, but actually running a tax franchise. So it's a lot. And now tax season is coming up. So let's start with that approach. So for our new listeners, Don usually explains why he got into taxes and how need-based businesses can really help out anybody, any entrepreneur, any family, and why it's actually a need. So there's actually one simple thing that you said, I'm not going to say what it is, but it's actually one simple thing that you actually say that everybody needs in order to provide generational wealth for their family. Can we start there?
Yeah, so I think before we even get into that topic, I think it's important that we talk about need-based business in general for our new listeners who don't even know what it is.
Okay.
Right? So
True.
What is a need-based business? A need-based business is exactly what it sounds like, something that everybody needs, where literally if you were to walk down a block right now, everybody is your potential customer.
Yeah.
So what do I mean by that? When you look at, like, for example, tax preparation, which is the reason why I got into the industry. When you look at life insurance, life insurance, or any other types of insurance, when you look at plumbers, electricians, barbers, hairstylists, like when you look at these people, right, they all have one thing in common. They have a need, something that our community is utilizing and paying for. It's not one of them type of things where it's like, I got to think about if I want to pay you, or maybe I shouldn't. No, I have to pay you because I have to get this done.
Are these popular careers?
Are they popular careers? They're not popular careers because need-based businesses are normally boring careers. A lot of people want to go into the things that are cool and that are flashy, right? But they don't want to go into like the coding, right? They don't want to go into like those. They don't want to go into like that like even let's even say the videography field, and they don't want to go into those areas of editing and Final Cut Pro. That's not cool because you're sitting behind a computer and you're not the famous person.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening is that people like to go with the fame. They don't like to go with the need, and the need is what actually generates revenue, right? The need is what actually builds either a book of business or it creates value. You become valuable either to the world, you become valuable to somebody else, and in exchange, you get paid a lot for that, right? So, but people skip over it. So that's what a need-based business is. It is something that that you offer where a potential customer has the ability of utilizing you for, and pretty much almost every person you walk by, you have the ability of turning them into clients. That's especially important if you're somebody that's new transitioning into entrepreneurship. And the reason why I love need-based businesses is because if you're somebody that's new, let's say that you don't have the sales skills, because being in entrepreneurship, you need to have sales skill, because in order to sell your product, you got to know how to talk. So maybe you don't have a sales skill. Maybe you don't have the skill of being like me and talking in front of a camera and being able to inspire millions of people. Maybe you don't have a whole lot of money to be able to invest, right? I mean, you could have limitations. With those limitations, if you have a need-based business, it solves a lot of the limitations, because since it's already embedded in the person's mind that they need your product or service, there's little that you have to do to be able to prove yourself enough to get a client. It's like kind of like sometimes when you start a business, you need to have a proof of concept.
Yeah.
And to create a proof of concept, you have to know how to sell to make people believe in the concept enough, because there's not enough people who've used it to where they can start talking on your behalf. So if you don't know how to build that proof of concept, you start a need-based business that already has a proof of concept to where now you're just the middleman that wins now. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But people don't like need-based businesses because of the fact that it's not a sexy business to get into. But it's the reason why I even went into tax preparation to begin with, because although tax preparation is not a sexy business to get into, if we just think about it right now, just last tax season, the tax season was from January to July, right?
Yeah.
I think it was to July that Trump extended it out to. From January to July, we were able to get paid. And here was the craziest part. The craziest part was that you couldn't get a stimulus check unless what?
Your taxes was
exactly. Your taxes were done. So now people were in this entire crazy rant looking for a tax professional. And guess who they could come to?
Jumping Jack Tax.
They was able to come to Jumping Jack Tax. They were able to come to me. And it was because the fact that I offered a need. And at that time, the need was very high. That's why tax preparation to me is a really crazy and beautiful industry, because you can use this industry to generate revenue, educate clients, and then after generating revenue from there, you can use that revenue to reinvest it into the things that you actually want to do. So you're basically utilizing your need to pay for your wants.
Yeah. You can't also skip over the fact that you offered a double need during the time of COVID. So not only were you able to do taxes, but you were able to do taxes virtually while
exactly
the competition was shutting down.
I didn't even think about that, Van. Thank you. So when we think about that, right, around taxes being a need, at Jumping Jack Tax, we were able to not only have tax preparation when everybody needed a stimulus check, and now everybody's looking for a tax preparer, but then it was COVID. So now people couldn't walk inside of a tax office, and then they didn't want to do their taxes on their own, so they didn't dare try to log into one of those free software services. So they're like, what I'm about to do? Hey, we're here. We offer virtual tax preparation services. We offer virtual, and we offer virtual tax preparation services. So it was like that, like you said, that double need for us. And that's why it's like, I don't care if taxes is not sexy. It's something that everybody needs. Yeah. And you can utilize the money that people pay to get their taxes done, utilize that to reinvest it back into the things that you want to do. So maybe you want to open up a clothing line. Maybe you want to get a sneaker. Maybe you want to have I don't know what it could be. It could be it's a lot of things people want to do. If you got big goals on things that you want to do, just know that it's going to cost you money in order to get that. Sometimes the price tag is high too, if you really want to scale it to that level, right? Like not on no small level. Like if you, for example, want to scale a clothing line to a level where it needs to go, especially in a market such as this, you got to know you got to put some money behind that, behind inventory, behind marketing, behind like people like influencers wearing your clothes. Like this, like advertisement, Facebook ads. So a lot of money goes behind it. If you tapped on that end, you could start a need, which is a lower cost, utilize that skill to generate you the revenue, and then from there, reinvest it back into the actual want, which is now, okay, I'm going to scale my next business now, which is my want, which is my clothing brand. And I got the resources to be able to do it. and that's the reason why I go so hard with taxes, and why I think that everybody that's incoming as a new entrepreneur or an entrepreneur now, go ahead. Like, we open up the franchise opportunity for Jumping Jack Tax, where you can actually start a Jumping Jack Tax virtual franchise.
Okay.
Like a virtual franchise, run the tax business from home if you want to, and be able to utilize this need to be able to get you to your next stage. It's a no, you know what I'm saying? It's a no-brainer.
So I wanted to ask you, since we are touching on need-based businesses, as I think about it, people's needs change over the time. Like the example you gave was coding. So coding wasn't a need 20 years ago.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So are there different types of need-based business? Because like with maybe, for instance, a social media manager, to me today is a need. Every company needs it if they want to stay ahead of the curve.
Yes.
But like you said, compared to taxes, that's been around since the Roman times. So what are the two differences between actually need-based business, and when should someone hop into the other?
So there are two types of need-based businesses. There are generational need-based businesses, and then I like to call them transitional need-based businesses. So I'll start. Your generational need-based businesses are when you drive through your neighborhood, those businesses that haven't closed in 20 years. So like when you look at like Remax, everybody know Remax. Like the Remax has been down the block from my mom's house for 25 years since I've been born. Remax. When you look at the Chinese stores, they've been there forever. When you look at the laundromats, when you look at the dry cleaners, the nail salons, the poppy stores, when you look at the tax offices, when you look at like these, like when you look at the registry, like where you get your car registered from, like these places have been here for like longer than we've been born.
True.
These are generational need-based businesses, meaning that they don't plan to go out of business in no time soon, because the need is so set in and that community is so connected to like doing everything right there. Like you ain't trying to drive nowhere. You want to walk to where you need to go, get to your places. They're so ingrained in the community that they're not ever going anywhere. And I think that's what when you look at the Asian community, they're very smart because they came into these communities and built out the actual generational need-based businesses in there that everybody goes to, right? You cashing out the nail salon, you cashing out of the people go to dry, like a lot of people who can't afford washing machines and dryers, which that's a lot of people. To go into the laundromat, washer, dryer, they own all of those, right? So when you think about that, they're not going nowhere. They're making hand over fist. Those are generational need-based businesses, and why I call them generational. And like even with tax preparation, tax offices, when the last time you saw tax offices really closing down inside of the neighborhood? Last I checked, the tax office that was in my neighborhood has been around longer than I've been born.
Yeah, true.
Right? Now here's the only thing that changed is that it changed hands from one person to the next. But the actual office itself never changed. Tax office has been around forever. So when you look at that, that's a generational need-based business where it's only exchanging hands between one person to the next. And you could be exchanging this with your family, or you could just sell it to somebody else who you're getting older. You're like, I want to cash out. Somebody else come in and say, hey, I want to buy your tax office. Okay, cool. Give me this. And then it just gets exchanged. It's generational.
Yeah, sometimes people that's working underneath you. Like, yo, let me buy the business for you. Yep.
Exactly. This even happened literally right across the street from my mom's house. There is a mechanic shop. That mechanic shop has been there since I've been born. The owner had owned it for 18 years. The guy that was working for him bought it from him because the guy didn't have any family or anything, but obviously they were busy all the time. All he did was sell it to him, and they just changed the name off, but it still remained the mechanic shop. That's a generational need-based business. Now you got transitional need-based businesses. These are the need-based businesses that evolve over time and transition with time.
Yeah.
So like you said, you have your social media manager now. That is a need. Like whoever has that skill, they become very valuable because of the fact like social media managers are now super valuable. Having yourself a media team with video, like a videographer and like editors, they are probably, to me, well, that just depends upon how you see it. But to me, that's the most valuable position in the world right now because of the internet. The internet came, social media came, and the way that you can promote your business now is through having excellent content. Who creates the excellent content? Social media managers, the editors, the videographers, those people who are the creatives, right? The creatives run the world right now.
Yeah.
That's a need. Social media managers. Then you also have people that know how to do Facebook ads, right? Whoever know how to do Facebook ads right now, man, they are massively valuable because Facebook opened up an opportunity where you could put ads out on everybody's timelines and be able to generate a lot of revenue from it. Those are transitional needs, right? And again, those are going to constantly change, right? So to me, it's kind of like having that generational need where like that's the reason why like I'm into taxes and life insurance because like those are generational needs. Like life insurance ain't ever in its life going anywhere. And taxes, I can promise you that's going to be around before you were born and it's going to be here when you die. Promise you, because like they say, there's two things guaranteed in life: taxes and death. That's not ever going anywhere. Taxes and life insurance. Then you have your transitional where I learned Facebook ads. Obviously, I'm not into courses, so I don't sell those things, but I learned it because I know how valuable it is, right? And then odds are we're probably going to end up having to bring somebody in on the team that just focuses in on that and just the ad standpoint because we need it. So like you got to figure out where you fit in. And like if you can just really focus and say, I'm going to learn the skill, you're going to be ahead of your time. Because right now, nobody's focused on doing that right now. Everybody's focused on the quick cash and grab. And that's cool. Like, I get it because the internet is opening up the lane to do it. But the lane that's like right now is like not many people are learning a skill right now. Many people are finding ways. They're finding ways to make money. They're not creating a skill that they can utilize to generate money. You see how those are two different things. It's one thing to find a way to make money, and it's another thing to create a skill where you pave the way for your money for the next 20 years, 30 years. Those are different people. There's no lane for that right now. And that's why I'm like knocking at people's head. Hello, listen, start a tax business. Even if you do it virtually, learn the skill. We will teach you the skill of tax preparation. We will teach you the skill of selling life insurance because of the fact that this is going to be something that's going to last you and your family for the next 20 years. And even if you don't want to do taxes and insurance no more, you can hire people to be able to do it. You can generate the revenue. You can reinvest the money into the things you want to do. Simple concept. Start the need, reinvest into the want.
Yeah, and that's the word I wanted to touch on in the beginning was skill, because like you said, most of these need-based businesses, they are operated with someone who has a skill, someone who learned the skill, someone who developed the skill, and someone who continues to innovate the skill.
Correct.
And most of those jobs, like we said, are not popular jobs. These are people that you really don't see. Other than yourself, you don't see anybody talking about taxes on the internet the way you present it. You don't see anybody excited about laundromats, but you're really starting to see some kind of content that does go viral. You'll see these people who talking about flipping houses and real estate. It was like, or doing vending machines or hopping on the trucking industry. Some stuff that we use all the time, but these are not glorified jobs at all. Can you touch on what were you start at developing the skill? I know that for myself, I'm only as good as I am because I went to a trade school. I was able to actually take up digital media in there and go to school for it. But there's a lot of times where I feel like people around like their 20s, that's where they become into a situation where they got to try to find their self. They don't know what they're good at. They don't know what their purpose is. But you're saying right now to them, that's okay if you're actually stuck. Just find a skill that you can develop just to get started.
Exactly. So let's talk about history first, right?
All right.
So from a history standpoint, I remember there was a time where my grandmother and my mother actually went to high school, and it was actually a trade school. Like they actually had those. Like I can't remember the name. I think my mom went to Dobbins, that was in Philly. That school actually prepared you for when you graduated from high school, you actually left with the skill or the trade. For example, if you wanted to be a hairstylist, you can learn that at the high school. And after going through all of that, you actually graduated into it. Like if you wanted to be a plumber or go into HVAC or electrician, they taught you that in high school. and you were able to develop your career path around that.
Yep.
So you could bypass college because you were able to go straight into the workforce and do what?
Make money. Yeah, sometimes they actually had you in school and working at the same time.
With an apprentice, like on an apprentice, like you getting your credits and everything. But if magically now that's all disappeared from the high schools. Now it's, you got to go through high school, take basic level education, this, and now you got to go to college. Then you got to do this now. Then I'm not going to get into that whole system of how I think it's a pipeline, really, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But just know, back then, around where my grandma and my mom was around, they could leave with a real skill that could start generating revenue the second that they graduated from high school.
Yep.
Little to no debt at all either. So when you think about that now and you look at today's time where that's not the case, we now have to go out of our way to actually find that skill. Now, don't get me wrong. There are certain college educations that you need to have in order to get the skill. So, for example, to be a doctor, to be an engineer, to be an astronaut, right? To do like those type of high level skill positions, you got to go to college.
Yeah, years of studying.
You have to study, and it takes an extensive amount of time. I'm not going to ever have a doctor performing surgery on me that did not go to school for a certain amount of years, and after going to school for a certain amount of years, have a certain level of experience. I would never do it. So I get that. And with respects to that, if you want to be a doctor or an engineer, an astronaut or something of that nature, then that's a level of dedication that you're making to yourself that I'm willing to take on, the loans. I'm willing to take on the 8 to 10 years of studying. That's a certain lifestyle you got to commit to.
It is.
And it's all respect to those type of people. We need those type of people in this world to make this thing go round. I respect it. But for those people who are not going in that area and they're just going to school just to go to school, that's where my issue now comes into play, because what are you expecting to do there, right? Like, for example, those people that want to be doctors, they kind of already know that they want to be doctors when they go to college, right?
True.
Other people that don't, you're not just going to wake up one day and say, I'm in the middle of my second year of college, now I want to be a doctor. Don't really work that way. So that's where now we're talking about the skill and how do you find that? Like, how do you find that now at a younger age moving up? Well, first thing is, let's just talk about, even if we talk about taxes for a second, taxes and life insurance. The beauty is that you live in 2021. There once was a time where you had to go somewhere. Now, if you want to learn the skill of tax preparation or the skill of life insurance, there are online classes that in order to do that. When you join Jumping Jack Tax Franchise, we actually teach you the skill of tax preparation. We put you into online tax school, and we'll go ahead and make sure that you get your insurance license as well, if that's what you want to do. You could do all of this from home, right? When we talk about other skills that require your hands, such as plumbers, HVAC, electricians, and construction and different things, you probably do got to go somewhere in order to get that, and it's going to require some time, but it won't require nearly as much time as, other skills that are required. So I think that you just have to choose that thing and go for it. I don't honestly, when you tax preparation was not something that was going to be like, hey, I know that I was going to do taxes. I didn't know. I mean, my mom did taxes since I was young, but I didn't walk up and say, I'm going to start the skill of tax preparation.
True.
Who the heck wants to do that? Right? I'm not even going to sit here and lie to you, even say that I always wanted to do taxes. I did not. The thing is, though, I saw the opportunity. And then after seeing the opportunity, I also saw that there was a need for it as well, as far as definitely making it a virtual thing and also educating our community, because most people will get their taxes done and just sign the dotted line and not know what's going on. We actually now at Jumping Jack Tax are educating our clients, right? So I saw that need of education and let's get into this thing. I think we could really articulate ourselves very well when it comes to taxes and make it easy for people to understand, which we've done and which we're doing right now. With that said, you got to just find something. I found the tax preparation and said, okay, cool. And then the craziest thing was when I was 18 and started working at the bank, they just said, hey, do you want to sell life insurance? And I'm like, oh, you know what? Well, I said, yeah, I'll sell life insurance for the bank. Y'all, it's a raise attached. They said, yeah, it's a little raise. I said, you know what? Let's do it. So then I just went and studied online, got my insurance license. And that's how I actually got into insurance and started selling life insurance. The bank offered the opportunity to do it. I didn't even know what that was and that you could actually sell that. They offered it to me. And that's the reason why I'm even where I am today. Somebody else even explained it. And I just said, yes, let's do it. What did I have to lose?
True.
So you have nothing to lose by just choosing a skill, nothing to lose there. Like I said, if you're not somebody that's willing to work with your hands, I probably wouldn't suggest going into the skills like I talked about around plumbing, electrician, contractors, even hairstylists and barber. You're not really willing to stand on your feet and work around that, then cool. But if you want to do something more lower maintenance where you're behind a desk and everything, then taxes and insurance could be a thing that's a need for you that catapults you to the next level.
Yeah, and what I was going to say about that also, sometimes you already had the skill. Like you say, 18 started in the bank, so you was already learning the skill without even like you didn't know what you were learning. You were learning, about finances, how money moves.
Yeah,
and you were also learning how to sell.
Yes,
you know what I mean. At the same time. And if like for myself, my dad worked at Verizon, so I was always pretty good with technology, how he set up wires and stuff like that. And MySpace kind of got me into like graphics and creating content on like a creative level. So sometimes we already have the skill, something that we just naturally good at that we don't even actually pay attention to, but you really have confidence in. That's where I believe people should actually start. So whatever you are actually a little bit confident in, see how I can transition into a need-based business.
For sure. And that's about just understanding the qualities in yourself, you know? And sometimes those qualities also have to be nurtured too. Like I didn't know that I was going to be good at finances until I worked at the bank. And next thing you know, I started to like it. So a lot of times, even if you're still confused, and you're like, damn, but I don't even, like some people are like, hey, I don't have no qualities at all about me. I'm just a boring person. I have nothing, right? For that type of person, I would just encourage you to just test out a couple things, test that out. Okay, go to school there, learn that, see if you like it, see if it worked for you, test that out, and then see what kind of resonates with you, because then certain qualities that you don't know about yourself might end up popping out as you're testing out that one thing. And you're like, yo, I'm just naturally good at this. Some people are. So test out things, find out where that need is, and then attack it all the way. Go full force.
So let's try this out. I love this game. I did this game with you before, but I really don't have a clip of you actually doing this game. So a lot of people sometimes think they need to go into more than one business in order to start gaining a lot of money. But sometimes there's a way where you can just have one business but have multiple streams of income.
Yes, you can.
So Don is extraordinary at this. Him and his wife Dana. We did this episode. I think it was last year.
And that was with the barbecue store.
So I kind of just gave Don a business and just let him tell me what he would do to have these multiple streams of income for a business. And it wasn't a need-based business at the time. I kind of gave you, it was a barbecue pit. So let's try this. I want to give you, I want to give you a laundromat. A laundromat.
I don't even want to use a laundromat.
You want to use a laundromat?
Use the tax preparation industry.
Okay, all right.
I want to teach other people that's tax preparers right now, or life insurance people, exactly how it's done.
Okay. Tax office. My tax office is near an apartment complex. My tax office is near an apartment complex. And in a shopping center with other need-based businesses and across the street from a bank.
Got you. So let's break this down. If you have a tax office right now, and you're trying to figure out how to expand this thing, let's talk about 7 ways that you can do that without having to start a whole nother business to think that you need to supplement. First things first, you got your tax office. You already know foot traffic that's coming in. The first thing that I would do in order to get more foot traffic is I would be more entertaining, right? When it comes to you having a brick and mortar location, times have changed. Nobody's just going to walk inside of your location just because you're cool and you're sitting on the corner. You need to educate. You need to create games with people, and you need to create some type of entertainment to make them want to come inside of your location. That's the only way to get them in 2021. Right? So that's the way to create foot traffic. Secondly, virtual tax preparation. Y'all know I've been talking about that for the past 2-3 years about making yourself virtual. Open up your book, find a software or system where people can send all of their documents virtually so that you can open up the line of business for that, right? So now you got your physical and your virtual. Those are both sides that are guaranteed to increase, entertain, to get people in, and create virtual in order for people all over the country. The third thing is the main thing that I will go into that I've learned now is life insurance for sure. Every single client that comes inside of your tax office right now, you know you see their W-2s, you see their 1099s, you see their retirement accounts, everything. You can literally have conversations with every client that you talk to. You know if they got 2-3 kids, right? And you can have that conversation about, hey, do you have life insurance and are you old, or do you have enough coverage for your kids? Tell me about your retirement accounts. Where are they currently located? What interest rates are you receiving right now? Because I may be able to do better, right? You can have those conversations about life insurance with every client. And here's the best part. They already trust you enough to get their taxes done by you. So that conversation of transitioning them over to life insurance is no conversation at all.
Yeah.
They're only going to do whatever you tell them to do as the professional. It's kind of like going to my barber and my barber's like, yo, I think we should do this differently to your beard and all of that and make it cool. And I'm like, all right, cool. You the professional. If it's going to make me look better, then what am I going to do?
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. I'm not going to refute. I'm not going to dispute with the man. So physical, virtual, life insurance, that's the third thing. Of course, number 4, you should learn some type of bookkeeping. You have to. The reason why is because you're going to have business clients that come in. Instead of outsourcing it out, you can learn bookkeeping and make sure that you're maintaining the clients. This is a way for you to get residual income. Why? Because bookkeeping clients will pay you on a monthly basis or a quarterly basis in order to maintain their books, and you're locking them in for next season. So physical and virtual tax preparation provides you with right now income that you get paid from one time. Life insurance provides you with right now income and then residuals as well, depending upon the type of policy. And then bookkeeping provides you with residual income as well from the business clients that are coming in on a daily basis. I'm not done yet. The next thing is you can now turn your physical location into more of an event space type for financial literacy. So now what you do is say, okay, in order for me to get more clients to come into my location, let me have financial literacy courses. Now, this is not necessarily another stream of revenue, but it can be, because if I were to have free financial literacy courses for the community, and let's say I get some influencers, right, and say, hey, real estate agent, I want you to come in and talk about real estate at my tax office. Could you come in and talk about that? Talk about FHA loans and loans for first-time home buyers and investment loans, construction loans and all that. Can you come in and talk about that? Sure, I can come in, because the real estate agent wants clients. And guess what? Guess what's going to happen when you get the real estate agent in and you let everybody know around your community on social media that you have a real estate agent coming in and talk about first-time home buying and all these different things.
Yeah.
You're going to get them to come in, and they're not coming in to get their taxes done. They're coming in to hear the information. And when they come in to hear that information, it's now your task as the tax professional or the person that's running the office to convert them into what?
Customers,
either
clients.
A tax client, an insurance client, or a bookkeeping client. So you've opened up the opportunity for the lead. And that goes back to, again, you having a physical location, you have to switch it up. And you got to find new ways to get clients into the location.
You had 6. That was 6.
That was 6? Damn, what's one more? What's one more we could do here? What is one more we could do here?
I was gonna say
another one.
you kind of touched on it, but you can go either further. So as far as with the physical location, you kind of touched on entertainment a little bit. So as far as the content, so the content that you actually use to educate your clients, you can actually educate the internet. And the internet, as you know, that's a stream of revenue.
Into courses or something like that.
Yep.
And it turned it into courses. Use your location, create the content. After you create that content, push that content back out as a course around taxes and tax preparation to educate other tax professionals on how to do things, or to educate your clients who want to buy, let's say, your ebooks or this. Maybe you got Uber drivers. For my Uber drivers, I put together an entire 30-minute video breaking down taxes, what you need to do, how to prepare yourself for the entire year. The book is $5.99, $4.99.
Easy.
Go ahead and grab that. Now they grab the ebook. You got money coming in from the content that you created. So let's just run this back down again. You entertain your physical location, which gets people in, right? Not just sitting there waiting for people to walk in there. They never will. You got to be entertaining with your physical location. Next thing you know, virtual, you want to be able to offer all 50 states, right? You want to be all over the country. After virtual, you want to be able to offer life insurance because every single client that you talk to that comes in and sits down with you with their taxes, they already trust you, and you should be going into that conversation around life insurance, especially if they got kids, they got debt, houses, and paying all this other stuff, and they don't got no insurance. There should be nobody walking outside of your tax office literally with no insurance. Come on, like that's your financial services representative, right? Then you also got bookkeeping. So if you get into that area, you have your business clients that need bookkeeping services. So you're generating a residual income from your business clients now because they're going to go somewhere else to do it. You can offer your value there. And then after you do that, you have your
financial literacy
classes where you can open up your location now for free financial literacy classes, get real estate agents, credit repair people, all types of people to come in to educate the community. In exchange, you get people that flow inside of your office, and you got to convert them over into leads to become tax clients, insurance clients, or bookkeeping clients. And then you also have the ability of being able to create content inside of your location, creating content for your Uber drivers, creating content for your real estate professionals, creating content for your investors, the people that are in the stock market, and saying, hey, I created an ebook just around taxes for all my stock market investors, right? All my traders that trade on a short-term basis, I got the whole gist for you, broke it down into a video, whiteboard. It's $3.99. Go ahead and grab it. Now you got income coming in that way too.
Correct. Yep. That was 6. So like the other one, like I said, you can split that content too because social media platforms pay for content. So
and then they pay you for pushing the content out social media now on YouTube and on Facebook and these platforms. Now you're getting paid from the monetization of the content from people watching it and then ads being ran on your content on those platforms.
That's all from one business.
All from one place. Mind you, I didn't go anywhere else outside of that. The issue that I find with most new entrepreneurs is that they oversaturate their time with thinking that they need 10 different businesses and not thinking that they can create 7 different businesses out of one business. How can I create 7 streams of income from one business, not create 10 different businesses where my time is spread out? I need to put my anchor into the water, and I need to go deep and focus in on this craft right here, and I can win.
Yeah.
That's the goal, and that's why I believe that we're going to win at Jumping Jack Tax. And that's pretty much, that's what we're trying to build at Jumping Jack Tax. Like the ideal franchisee that I see coming in and joining Jumping Jack Tax is one who wants to go into tax preparation, one who wants to expand out into life insurance and into bookkeeping, right? That's the type of person I'm looking for. Hey, I want to go into taxes. I want to go into life insurance, then eventually bookkeeping. Like somebody who's like, hey, I want to offer full throttle of services, right? And now all of our franchise owners, they now have the ability of offering all of those services underneath one brand. And through our marketing at Jumping Jack Tax, we're just trickling down the clientele into our franchise owners who can offer these. That's the ultimate goal, right? Somebody who's going to be anchored in and saying, yo, I'm giving it all. I'm going to learn this skill and this trade. I'm going all in with you, Don. I'm in. That's the type of person that I'm looking for. Not somebody that's like, I want to do this from January through April, and after April is over, I'm going to disappear and you won't see me again until January. We're not looking for those type of people. If you want to be that person, go to another franchise for that. They do that type of stuff. We want people that's like, hey, all year round, we got services for you, and we're going to market, and we're going to create content, and we're going to be pushing out this stuff. We're going to that's the type of person, because we can generate revenue all year round with this if you're focused. And how do I know that? Because we've done it already.
Yeah, living it.
We're living it literally, So with that said, it's like to kind of wrap this is that I believe that everybody should have some type of need-based businesses. I believe that everybody should have some type of need-based business. Now, whether that's not taxes or virtual tax preparation, that's fine. It needs to be some type of need that when you walking down the street, every single person can utilize your service, right? Everybody. And if you're a new entrepreneur, this is especially as important, because if you walk around your community right now, you will see all of the need-based businesses that have been around longer than you have been around, longer than you've been alive. So that by itself is the blueprint that you need to follow. And it's the reason why I'm like, damn, I'm trying to scream to the top of my lungs. Listen, guys, look, you can start a tax business. We're going to teach you the skill of tax preparation. We're going to teach you the skill of life insurance so you can utilize these to create generational business. Generational business. The blueprint is there for you. Walk around your community. It's there, right? So that's the reason why. And it's a no-brainer.
All right, you can go ahead and wrap it up if you want.
Yeah, so with that being said, again, for those that are listening, right, if you're like, hey, Don, I want to start a need-based business. Don, I want to start a need-based business. Don, I want to start a skill. Don, I want to learn something that I could fully invest in for the next 10, 15 years and become the best at. Well, guess what? Jumping Jack Tax, we are a franchise and we are looking for new franchise owners. So all you got to do is go to jumpingjacktaxes.com/franchise and you can go ahead and watch the information. And from there, you can fill out an application and we'd be more than happy to welcome you in as one of our franchisees, franchise owners, so you can learn the skill of tax preparation, learn the skill of insurance, and turn this into a generational business that you can go ahead and pass down to your family, right? So if you want to learn a need, you want to learn a skill, click the link in my bio if you're watching this on Instagram, or go to jumpingjacktaxes/franchise. Let's teach you how to start that need around the taxes and insurance lane so that you can use the need in order to reinvest it into the things that you actually want. With that said, I'm Prince Donnell. You're officially listening to $1 Million Life Lessons. And of course, I'm here, my right-hand man, the man with the cam.
Ron Vann Dam.
And hope y'all love this information. If you really love it, please leave a review on Apple or Spotify. Leave a review. And with that said, share this with a friend. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Peace.
Jumping jacks, tax, got my taxes jumping, now my bag coming with that major money, dripping blessings, just might buy a house for my mama, bad credit, don't even sweat it, cause they'll repair it, ain't no question, they can do it, it's a major movement.